Hello once again, and welcome to another edition of the I'm Always Right Sports Podcast. I am your host, as always, the Mouth of Michigan, Rob Mendeca. With me, as always, my co-host, the Merc Zone, Mike Merkel.
I'm here.
I am now your reigning 2-week I'm Always Right champion.
Okay.
2 weeks.
Okay.
2 weeks and counting.
Hey, my mouth doesn't hurt anymore.
Right, yeah, the wisdom teeth are out, you're healthy, you're back, you're good to go.
So, and Kyle's not even here, so where is he? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't even care.
Oh, you don't care?
He's probably looking for Jared Cook. That's probably what he's doing.
Probably.
He thinks they cut Michael Roberts, so they're going to go trade for Jared Cook now. He's so ridiculous. He's absolutely ridiculous. He's probably running away.
The second that we get Jared Cook ever, though,
I know.
he's definitely going to crap
be
on us.
39-year-old. He's going to like the be LeGarrette Blount of the tight end position. Jared Cook's coming in, man.
And we're all like, he just dropped 6 passes.
He's going to have a career year in New Orleans this year and score like 35 touchdowns, and he comes here for a year, and it's a disaster.
Sounds good to me. Okay.
All right, guys.
Is that normal?
We've got so much stuff to go over. We have it's almost like a champions version of the I'm Always Right Sports Podcast today. We're talking the NBA Finals, Toronto, your new NBA champion. We're talking the NHL Stanley Cup Finals. St. Louis Blues are your new Stanley Cup champs. We're talking some Tigers and the massive fire sale that they're basically announcing to the whole world to take all of our young players because we're terrible anyway. We're going to talk some John Cena comments and how he thinks the WWE is going to change or be changed and do things that they've never done before. And we're also going to do something for the very first time on the show, Mike. Something that I never thought would happen, but I think we have to do it. We're talking soccer, folks. That's right. We're talking not just any soccer. We're talking U.S. Women's World Cup action. All of that and more coming up here. Let's just jump right into it. I want to talk about Toronto wins for till you called it. You nailed it.
I was
6 games. You were the one. I was watching the game on, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Mike's going to be so happy. He's going to walk in Showtime, and he's going to be strutting his stuff. They win the series. Kawhi Leonard MVP again. Second time for him, for only the third guy ever in history to win 2 NBA MVPs on 2 separate teams. LeBron and Kareem. So big thing for that.
Right.
Just give me your thoughts on the series as a whole as you watched it, and then we'll kind of dig a little bit deeper into both teams here.
I'll start by saying the series was very good.
Yes.
It's nice after the last 2 years that you actually get a very good series.
Right.
And I think actually this year the 2 teams that really deserved to be there got there.
Yes.
And I can't say that last year, 2 years ago was very iffy.
Yeah.
The last time I can really strongly say that was 2016 when
Right.
Cavs Warriors had a great series.
Yeah.
So I think having the 2 teams that I believe at the time were the 2 very best teams.
Right.
Bucks, I think, could have done something very similar here.
Right, but I think Toronto earned that victory, though,
honestly,
too. They did not have an easy road to get here.
Yeah.
And neither did Golden State, honestly.
No, either team at least went, I guess they swept the one team.
Right.
But, I mean, they went 6 games at least twice, which is one of the first times ever. They usually sweep at least the first 2 rounds every year. So they had a good little dogfight to get to the finals, besides Portland, which...
Yeah, but even Portland, though, made a run to get there in the first place, right?
Yeah, they had a stretch of great games.
Yeah, they did,
And Toronto coming out of the East, 2 teams that played their butts off, and the series was so good.
Yeah.
Every single game I was sitting there going, even because I think 3 out of the 6 games were blowups also in Toronto's favor, and it was still entertaining.
Well, what's crazy is the amount of road wins. I mean, we had 5 straight road wins. Which is never happened.
Never happened.
Crazy how much you're like, I'm like, wow. When they said that on the broadcast, I was shocked by the fact that I was like, when you think about it, like, oh, yeah, right there, you got to go down the list. You're like, son of a bitch, that's what it was.
It really was.
It was crazy. I think you're right. The dogfight mentality, even in the blowouts, you kind of felt like at any point in time, Golden State can make a run, right? And what I think is fun, I want to hit on this in a second, but I want to talk about the champs first because they've earned that right. Kawhi obviously is only here for this year as of right now, right? He's a free agent. What's next for him? He's going to be one of the biggest free agents coming, probably the second biggest free agent behind Durant, right? If not, maybe 1A, 1B at this point. Does he stay in Toronto? And if he doesn't stay in Toronto, where do you think is his most preferred landing spot? If you're Kawhi Leonard, where if you don't want to stay in Toronto, then where do you want to go? The best fit for you to win most money? Because he's not going to get more money than if he doesn't play for Toronto. Okay. So it's, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, as I wrote here,
right.
If I was Kawhi, as a player, I would stay in Toronto. Yeah. I think you have no reason to leave now. You won the title. You literally have an entire country that's like you're the man.
Yeah.
Like
you're almost godlike.
You can't go.
He's on hockey level.
Yeah, he's in like Wayne Gretzky or whatever
right?
level. Like he's like Mount Rushmore Canadian athletes now. To where like no matter where else you go, you will not have that much loyal fan base. No matter what team you go to the Warriors, you go to the Cavs, you could go to name any team, and there's some fans that are like, well, I like that team better. Right. Literally, Toronto's an entire country that's behind
and
you.
It's a low-key place. Even though they're good, right? Toronto is not looked at as a place that gets a lot of media coverage.
Nope.
Right? They're not in the headlines all the time. They've been a great team for several years now.
They're ranked 14th in media coverage in
the
NBA.
Exactly.
Right around
yeah. And Kawhi doesn't say nothing anyway, so that's perfect for him.
Yep.
He's not getting, like... Where's his preferred landing spot if he doesn't if he doesn't stay? Say he wants to go and he's like, I gave you exactly what you wanted.
I thought actually pretty hard about this.
Yeah.
And I think the perfect place to go is the Clippers.
Yeah. Even though it's in LA, huh?
Yes, even though it's in LA. That's the toughest transition, but he really wants to go to LA apparently.
Yeah, I know, it's weird. He's such a low-key guy.
He's just like, I just really like it in LA. I think he was born there, and that's like kind of his preferred place to be around. The Clippers have a lot of similarities, I feel, to the Raptors at this point.
Well, they're overshadowed by LeBron and the Lakers, so you're automatically demoted, within your own city.
I mean, it's interesting to think because you can even have that similarity where hockey is just kind of overtakes basketball as a whole.
For sure.
So you're overlooked there from that aspect. But similarity-wise, you have a very good and deep team. I mean, Lou Williams is coming off at the bench.
Right.
As one of the better players in the NBA right now.
Right.
And that says...
got a good coach, got a good structure, good ownership. You have a lot of things there that are kind of fitting into place. So plus, you got Jerry West there.
Yeah.
Which is huge.
Which is great in the ownership department. So I think if you go there, it's almost like a seamless transition of this team's really good, and I leave,
takes
and
over
this
as the best
really
player,
good.
And I think he just makes everybody else run. I think the Clippers are a great spot. That's what I was going to say. I don't think there's another team besides Toronto or the Clippers that he should go. Like, the Knicks would be terrible for him to go to. He shouldn't go to the Lakers. I know he doesn't want to go there, but he shouldn't go there.
I mean, I think an interesting spot that no one really thinks about is Brooklyn. Would be very interesting because with D'Angelo Russell, you still have a deep team with a new coach there that's pretty good.
Put it this way, I know that Kyrie, and we're going to do a whole NBA free agency frenzy here in the next couple weeks after the season kind of dies down and we kind of get to see who's opting out and going and everything else. But if Kyrie really wants to go to Brooklyn, right? I'd rather have Kawhi over Kyrie.
Absolutely.
99.9% of the time.
I've read a lot of reports, so that's almost done deal that Kyrie's going to Brooklyn.
Right, which is weird. I feel like that's a weird place for him to go. I felt like, okay, just go to the Knicks if you're going to go to New York. I don't know, it's
I absolutely agree. Actually, can we go, let's go back up for a second.
Yeah, for sure.
I have a lot to talk about the series as a whole.
Yeah, for sure.
Kawhi Leonard in the series, I don't know if you felt this. I think it was very underwhelming in this series.
No doubt.
Do you feel that?
No doubt, for sure. Like especially watching yesterday. I'm glad that you mentioned that. Watching the game yesterday, I felt like he was there, but I wasn't worried about him. Almost,
no.
You know what I mean? It was like, Kawhi's got the ball. You know what I mean? But it was everybody else had a game. Kyle Lowry finally shows up, right? Van Fleet finally,
takes over the fourth
exactly.
Quarter. But I sat there and I was like, he didn't play well down the stretch. He played well the stretch in Game 5. Then that stupid timeout that we haven't talked about at all since because we hadn't had a show yet. Yeah. But that stupid timeout with 3 minutes left. That the Warriors really sat there and went, "Wow, that was stupid." And then they made like 8 threes in one game. I think that was stupid by Nick Nurse.
Yeah.
And then Game 6 down the stretch, I'm just going like. I feel like if LeBron played this exact game how Kawhi played, everyone would just shred. Even if they won. Even if they won the series off everyone goes, where was he?
Right.
But Kawhi's not getting that, which is probably nice that he's in Toronto where it's like that low-key market that no one's really talking about at that point.
No doubt. Plus, I think, too, they were always kind of in control of this series, which I think helped. He was playing so well going into the finals, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like he got a pass, right?
Yeah.
It's hard for a lot of people, I think, to distinguish between LeBron and everybody else. And I know we talk about LeBron a lot, but he's the one common guy in the NBA where you can compare like reactions and stats and everything else too because he's the best player in the world. So because of that, right? You're totally correct. If LeBron were to throw up a 28-7 stat line, that's not acceptable for LeBron James, right? It's just not, 35, 12, and 16 rebounds. That's more a LeBron type of stat line in the finals, especially. So I'm totally agreeing with you.
Yeah, I sat there and I literally went, man, like, I wish there was just one series where LeBron could do something like that and people wouldn't crap on him. It's almost like a Matthew Stafford effect.
No doubt.
Like, here as big Detroit fans.
Sure. Yeah, he can throw 5 touchdowns. Well, he didn't win the game, so why does it matter? Like,
exactly.
Because the defense lets up 60 points.
Yeah, so, like, that's just how I feel about, like, LeBron. And then, like, talking quiet, I'm like, I really don't feel like he really showed this series that he is the guy.
Right.
Like, I don't know if he's going to be, like, the guy in the NBA. Like, I feel like if Giannis was in the finals and they won, I feel like that torch is passed.
Yeah.
I don't know if that torch is passed yet.
I don't think so either. No, I think Kawhi has to operate within a system a little bit, right? He's a phenomenal player, both sides of the court. He's a great defender, he's a great offensive player, right? But I don't think people look at Kawhi as the guy who is going to take over a game single-handedly, right? Yeah. He's always had another piece. Even in San Antonio for the longest time, they had Tim Duncan. You had Parker. You had Ginobili. You had Aldridge for a second there. You had other pieces around you that not only necessarily like that, like you relied upon, but you could defer and kind of lean on.
Yeah.
Even Kyle Lowry, who wasn't effective in the first half of the series, you could at least let me lean on him. I have Marc Gasol down low who can stretch the floor, right? Mm-hmm. I've got players that nobody's ever even heard of before having monstrous games in the biggest of series. Another guy I want to talk about too while we're in the series, which kind of leads me to my next topic on this, is Steph Curry. Now coming out of this game, 0 for 8.
0 for 9.
0 for 9, sorry, excuse me.
Right after this,
Right, 0 for 9.
I have the stat, actually, the exact stat that's, that actually makes this point. So he is, let me pull it up real quick. Potential go-ahead field goals in playoffs.
Right.
Final 24 seconds of fourth quarter overtime since 2001. He is 0 for 9, and he is the worst in the NBA.
Yeah.
Following him is Russell Westbrook at 0 for 7.
Right. So that was an astounding stat for me.
I did not.
I didn't realize that until they brought it up and went, yeah, like in that Cleveland series.
There was twice where
he could have had it and he didn't do it. And this one too, I think they settled for a bad shot.
Yep.
In that, in the finals.
I would argue this time. I think that shot looked very good. Like he had a very good look at it.
He had a good look, right? But I felt like they had more time. Like they tried to just get it off. And go.
There were 16 seconds on the shot.
Right. That was my thought. You could have just get it in, set something up, and then go. I felt they tried to get too cute with it. But beside the point, right? What I want to ask you is there's going to be a lot of upheaval in Golden State, right? Steph's obviously there. He's the man, right? Who's staying and who's going? Now, is this going to be the end for Golden State in the way they... I mean, let's be real here. They were beaten up. Boogie's on one leg. Looney's got he's got cracked ribs, right? Durant blows an Achilles. Clay's now torn, his ACL. So many... It was just bullet after bullet after bullet after bullet here. And... which is a complete role reversal than they've ever had before, right? And they still put up a hell of a fight. But is this the end for Golden State, number one? And two, who's staying and who's going? Because you got 3 big names in your starting lineup right now that you have no idea where they're going, theoretically.
I think it's very interesting because of the injury factor. I would be saying if they were 100% healthy and this series happened, it was 4-2, and they just lost, I would say, this is probably over. But now you really look at it. Wow, my screen just died. I love that. But you really look at it, and this actually could be a great thing for the Warriors, having all these injuries. Because, one, KD might want to sign back, because now the Knicks go, do we want you with the torn Achilles?
Right. Because he does have a player option, theoretically.
Yeah, he does.
He does. Yeah. So he can opt into that.
You can opt into that and then sign him for 2 or 3 more years or whatever you want to do. Clay is probably going to be out at least 3 quarters of next year, if not the full season, with an ACL tear. Right. Which, by the way, watching that when he left,
I know,
and then he went, and then the guy was like, "Hey, if you don't shoot these free throws, you can't come back in." He goes, "Okay, I'll go back." Yeah, right. And he literally just walked back on the court to shoot free throws.
I know.
Was fantastic to watch. Just a side note.
Playing some hero ball there.
But Clay being out most of the year, he really likes Golden State. Maybe
that's the guy they need.
I think a lot of teams are just going to go, I don't know if I want to sign this guy with a torn ACL, with a torn Achilles. Yeah. I think that those injuries are such big injuries that's like, do you want to take the risk? Because if you're like, say, the Pistons, right, and you're like, we have a chance to get Klay Thompson, but do you want him if he tears his ACL? Like, he has a torn ACL, and he gives you 50% what he gave you on the Warriors.
It's the only way that you could get if you're Detroit.
Exactly.
The only way you
get Klay Thompson. As a hypothetical,
no, for sure.
You're saying, I have a chance of getting Klay Thompson, but he has a torn ACL. Do I want to take the chance on him, or do I want to go somewhere else, like a Kemba Walker, or somewhere else around the board?
Right.
That's what I'm thinking a lot of teams are going to be like. So now the Warriors are like, we'll re-sign you.
Yeah.
And then, like, they get him back, they come 100% healthy, and then they can restart almost.
Right. I think that with the way these three guys, right, with DeMarcus Cousins, Durant, and Clay, I think Durant's gone no matter what, honestly. I do. I think he's gone. I think he wants to get... I think he's I think he has a little bit of a chip on his shoulder to prove himself to other people. I think Clay is the number one priority for Golden State. Absolutely. I think you need to keep the Splash Brothers together.
Well, if you lose KD, you got to get Clay.
Yeah, right. But I would honestly prioritize Clay over KD at this point, just because the cohesion, right? You've won a championship without KD. Mm-hmm. You can do it. It's possible, right? Having KD was the cherry on top to be like, all right, well, you guys beat us, so we're gonna take KD now and take control. But because of that, right? I think Clay, fits better. I think he's a better defender. I think he fits what the Warriors want to do a little bit more, right? Mm-hmm. I think another guy, too, that kind of gets lost in the shuffle just a little bit is DeMarcus Cousins. Was hurt a lot of this year, was not effective for long stretches. He kind of signed this deal. It's kind of a prove-it deal, win my championship, then go make a bunch of money. I don't think that's going to happen. I think there's a possibility, depending on how they structure this, he could maybe wind up back there if they really wanted to on a full year again, right? Yep. Sign another mid-level deal because you didn't play well. Even in the finals, I get it, you were hurt, but he wasn't effective. Yeah. He was a defensive liability, didn't shoot very well, you know what I mean? I don't know. Like, give me your thoughts on Boogie.
I pondered literally almost every single team, and I can't see a single team signing him except maybe the Lakers if you don't get AD.
Right.
Like
That's a great call.
If you don't get AD,
somebody else who can stretch the floor.
Yes, just somebody that can,
a big guy.
Can shoot, air quotes, and can maybe push guys out of the way so LeBron can drive.
Yeah.
That's literally the only place that I could see him going to. I really racked my brain going, Boston, no. Knicks, no. Brooklyn, no.
Right.
Rockets,
no contender's going to want to touch that, right?
No.
And no one's going to want to give him big money either. New Orleans didn't, clearly, and they had AD at the time, So
that's my best guess?
Yeah, no. That's a coin flip. That's very interesting. Once again, though, I'm so excited for NBA free agency to kind of kick off, so we're going to do a whole bunch of predictions.
I love seeing Jimmy Butler decline his player option, so now he's definitely into the mix somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
So him going somewhere.
And that's a team, and that's another guy, that's a wild card guy, where it's like, you don't know what you're going to get night in and night out from him sometimes. So, very interesting. Very excited about NBA free agency. All right, let's shift now. Let's talk quickly before the break here about the Stanley Cup. St. Louis Blues are your Stanley Cup champs.
For the
first Cup in team history. Perfect. Give me your thoughts on the series quickly.
Series was quite great, actually. Yeah. Went to 7, which is nice to see. Unfortunately, I don't think the games were super close. They had a lot of... Right. They had a 7-2 Game 3.
A 5-2 in Game 6, right?
5-2 Game 6, or 5-1 Game 6, and a 4-1 to end the series. A couple 4-2s in there, too. So I think Game 2, which was a 3-2 overtime win for the Blues, was like their big, we won this one kind of win. But I didn't see much all around the game. I thought they were all kind of like,
Did you see, watching Game 7, I thought there was a massive lack of urgency from Boston.
Okay.
I thought St. Louis, even after they got their 2-goal lead in the first period, right? Which, that second goal was amazing, by the way. I'm like, that was crazy. But with that being said, right, because you got Tuukka Rask in goal, phenomenal goaltender, right? I just looking at... Even in the second period, third period, it just looked like St. Louis had more energy. It looked like they were faster. They were more physical. They just wanted it more. It looked like Boston at times was moving in slow motion, almost, right? The offensive zone possession, even though they had more shots on goal at one point during the game, it just felt like St. Louis, even when they were in the offensive zone, smarter passes, not taking unnecessary shots, were consistently pushing the pace, and really took it to Boston. I felt like Boston showed their age a little bit.
They absolutely did. Props to Jordan Binghamton, the Blues goalie.
No kidding.
Did you know there was 33 shots on goal that game?
Yeah, right. Didn't feel like it.
And only one went in. Right. He has a .927 save percentage in the playoffs.
Isn't that crazy? He came out of nowhere, too. They were in last place at one point in their division and made a run with him in goal. Isn't that crazy?
It's amazing. While as
the entire run.
Stupid... the Bruins guy, 20 shots on goal and lets 4 goals in.
Right, exactly. And you're just like, how do you do that? Because he's a phenomenal goaltender himself.
I love this because it's one of those, the Blues just really wanted it more. You go back in history for other sports, the Eagles in Super Bowl 52, Raptors this year, Caps last year. They all verse these teams have like won like 5 or 6 or whatever. Bruins have been there like every single year ever.
Right.
So like it was just like I just want this more kind of deal.
Exactly.
And
we don't know when we're gonna get back here. This is the opportunity. All the stars have aligned. We have this young goaltender who's coming out of nowhere, who's playing out of his mind right now. We need to make a run.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
absolutely amazing.
It was phenomenal. I just thought the whole entire series was like that. Like you said, it was very up and down, right? If you're a fan of the Blues, you're like, geez, we just got blown out 7-2 in the damn finals. Like, how the hell are we gonna, you know? And then all of a sudden you come out with just such fire and urgency with this Game 7. I was totally floored. I did not think the game was going to go like that. I was kind of in your mindset. I thought Boston was going to win, even though I wanted St. Louis to win. But I just the effort of nothing else, right? Forget everything else, the shot selections, whatever. The effort alone for me was just completely one-sided, in my opinion. But what's funny, and the reason why I want to talk about both these guys, not because they both won championships in Toronto and St. Louis, but for the respective cities and the respective sports, right? It's their first championship, right? Is this like an omen? And I know this is such a cheesy question. I feel like such a douchey radio host asking this right now by asking this. Is this a good omen for the Lions in any sort of imagination, right? Does it give you even that sliver of hope? Because if you're an optimist, like I am about this team, because if not, I'll be an alcoholic from drinking myself to death. But looking at this Lions team, right? You've never had more depth on this team, right? Your weak point's probably the offensive line and maybe some secondary concerns, but overall, you never had more depth right now, right? You have a veteran quarterback, good receiving core, you've got your quote-unquote ideal coach, right? You've got good general manager in ship, I guess, is the best way of putting that, right? You've never been more secure, theoretically, and you're expected now to do something from a local fan. It's national, you'll never get the respect until you win, I get that. But locally, right, I think it's expected the Lions to do something. So, is this a good omen at all? Is it, give you any sort of hope where you're like, maybe this is the year, crazy stuff's happening everywhere else, maybe this is the time where we can somehow pull it together?
Yeah, quickly, the concept is amazing. I wish it was a thing. However, football, the Lions are in a much tougher spot than the Blues or the Eagles were or anything. They're playing in arguably the most competitive division in football, where any team can just show down and win. Their team, like you said, it's unproven, and they have a lot of unknowns. You don't know how that linebacking core is going to be. You don't know how Stafford's going to play night in, night out. You don't know if that offensive line's actually going to block for you or not. So you have a lot of you don't knows. After week 1 or 2, that's a big discussion to have of, was that going to be the omen for this?
No doubt.
But as of right now, I would say maybe. I guess.
Give the fan base a little bit of hope.
Yeah, you could give it a little bit of hope, but with that competitive, that division's just. And you might one day rank the divisions right now and how they are or something, but I think that's near the top.
Yeah, that'd be something after preseason just to see how everybody's looking. But no, you're right? There's so many unknowns with this football team, but I just thought it was funny just because you're just like, wow, St. Louis put it together, right? Even if it's just Toronto, right? If Kawhi leaves, right? Toronto's never stepped to the finals, until they get another superstar, right? That team's not built to last, I guess. No. But with that being said, right? It's just 1 year, man. You know what I mean? It just needs to happen one time. I'm not. Shoot, maybe success for us is a playoff win. Maybe that's what we need to measure it as. Not even a Super Bowl championship. But I don't know. For me, it just looked like maybe this is the year, guys. Maybe we can finally put it together.
Don't we see that every year?
Yeah, and then the first game happens. And then we're all brought back down to earth. We changed our win-loss predictions.
Hey, not every time. I would say 2 or 3 years ago it was.
Well, we started out 5-0.
Yeah.
The second year that Jim Schwartz here won 10-6.
No, not that year.
Oh, that was a good year.
The one when we lost to the Falcons in that stupid way. When we started off 3-0 or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we went pretty hard downhill.
Yeah, should have been 4-1 after that game or something stupid. Yeah. Yes, I do remember that. But anyway, I just thought it was funny. I always like to talk about the Lions as much as we can. Obviously, we're a heavy football show, but just thought it'd be fun. Once again, congratulations to St. Louis. Congratulations to Toronto and your fans. You guys deserve it. You guys earned it. Congratulations. Okay, after the break, we got so much stuff to go over. We got Tigers and their massive fire sale. We're talking John Cena and his comments about WWE. I know, right? He's going to make some comments now because he's not part of the product anymore, so he can judge them. He can judge them as much as he wants, right? And I want to talk about some Women's World Cup action. That's right, soccer on the I'm Always Right Sports Podcast. You asked for it, you're getting it because we aim to please because we're that damn good. All that plus some other great stuff coming in. Great analysis as always. Right after the break. Stick around.
Hey guys, this is the Mouth of Michigan, Rob Mendyka from the I'm Always Right Sports Podcast. Just reminding you that we are live every single Monday at 7 in the morning on your favorite streaming services. All 5 major sports: football, basketball, baseball, hockey, and professional wrestling. I'm Always Right Sports Podcast every Monday, 7 a.m. See you there.
All right, welcome back to part 2 of episode 29. Almost an episode 30, Mike. Can you believe it?
What are we doing for episode 30?
Providing more great content, like always, right? And it'll be the 3rd week of my championship reign. So what else? What else do you have to look forward to? I mean, come on. I mean, for realsies. Let's be real. Like, come on. Yeah. Listen, we have so many big things coming up for you guys. Just as a spoiler alert, so many big things. I'm telling you right now, you guys got to stay tuned. So much big stuff.
I don't even know what it is.
Exactly. He doesn't even know because I'm planning it all. He doesn't even know yet. That's right. I got all surprises for all you peoples. All right, let's jump right into some Tigers talk, though. Something that's going to make us all real nice and sad.
They beat the best team in the league the other day.
Hey, all right. It's like the Pistons. We beat Toronto. We swept Toronto this year. So we're the de facto champs. We beat New England, too. Detroit sports, baby. Woo! All right. The Detroit Tigers. Obviously, a dumpster fire of a baseball organization right now. We know that they're going through a rebuilding stage.
Yes.
2021 is what they're aiming for as far as the time to where we're going to see that upswing again, which we talked about before in our archives. If you haven't listened to that, be sure to go back and listen to it. They basically came out and said they're cool with anybody and everybody getting traded. Everybody's available, right? Castellanos, Boyd, Fulmer, Cabrera, and everybody else in between. Shane Green's another guy. Are you cool with them coming out and just saying, listen, make an offer? You know what I mean? If it's mutually beneficial, right, you got them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, we say Cabrera, but that's never going to happen. Yeah. That's a pipe dream. If that happens, we've taken back a lot of crap. But in all honesty, right, Shane Green, Nick Castellanos, right? And I want to talk about some of these guys individually in a second. But are you cool with them just coming out and being bluntly honest and saying, listen, we got to get to 2021. We need to set ourselves up the best we can for 2021 to start this process. You know what I mean? And get rid of any asset they have right now in the major league system.
Yeah. Listen, if I'm totally okay with it because at least you have a semi-plan, I guess.
Yeah. Right. No kidding.
Like, if the Lions 3 years ago were just like, all right, we're gonna scrap everything and
we're gonna totally rebuild this entire roster.
At least because half the time when they're 4-12, let's do the math there. If you're 4-12, you're just 4-12, but you tried, and then it looks way worse. If you're gonna tell her, hey, we're just gonna go 2-14 for the next 5 years, but we're gonna get all these pieces, all these first round picks, and then we're gonna make the run for it. Right. Then I feel better. Yeah. Like when the Tigers go, okay, in 3 years we should have the pieces there with all these trades, all these prospects we're getting in, and we're gonna develop them in the minors.
We're gonna be young and be good for the next 10 years.
Yeah. I'm totally cool with that. I like that. Yeah. However, if that doesn't pan out, then as a fan, you lose a big part of the fan base going, so I waited 3 years and you're still under 500.
Right. So exactly. You're playing that game, right? You're thinking you're doing the right steps.
Yes.
And you better do it, because if not, it's your job for El Avila, number one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think he's going to be here, better or worse, right? I think he's going to be here to 2021 to see this fruition come through, right? I don't see any indication of the Tigers organization, unless he does something where he does some misconduct of some sort outside of baseball related processes. I'm sure he'll be here. You know what I mean? Matt Boyd, I want to talk about him specifically along with Nick Castellanos. We'll talk about him in a second. But Matthew Boyd, right, he's probably the best pitcher on staff right now. He's an extremely hot commodity. Right. Casey
I was gonna say, okay.
But we're on the staff, on the current, in the major league staff, right?
Yes.
And he's a hot commodity, right? He's under team control for I think another 2 to 3 years before he even gets to arbitration and all that good stuff. So there's tons of ability, right, that you're seeing percolating finally. He was one of the lesser known guys coming back in the purge from a couple years ago in the David Prices and stuff. But he's become the best guy they have right now, right? They've already said it's going to take a lot to get him. They've already said that they would like a young hitter, a young top, hitter to come back to them if possible, right? Yeah. They're not just going to give him away. They have no incentive right now to give him away because of how he's pitching and because he's under team control for so long.
Yeah.
But What do you want to get for him back in a trade? Do you think they're asking enough? Do you think that they should be asking for more? What if you found out tomorrow? Matt Boyd's getting traded to the Phillies or the Braves or another team in contention, right? What am I getting back? I don't need players. Just give me archetypes. Give me just a bundle of stuff that I want.
I would say maybe not even a younger, very good batter.
Yeah,
like someone who can go in the 5 or 6 slot and really just give you like a 300 average.
Yeah.
Low 300 average would be very good.
Yeah.
And then I would kind of like a higher draft pick.
Yeah.
Now with 40 draft picks, as we talked about before, they're like, oh, I'll give you my 12th round draft pick. Like, I don't know about that. Like, I would look for like maybe a top 5 draft pick somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
So you get to the high value. He's a guy I love on the roster. As you said, probably the best pitcher on the team in the majors.
Especially right now. I mean, there's nobody. You can't name anybody else who's even coming close right now. So
so it would take that and possibly even more. Maybe another prospect pitcher. Maybe
I would need another. I would need another piece. I think the way he is right now, as young as he is, as well as he's playing, right, he's got no major injuries. He's under team control for so long. I agree with you. I want a young hitter. Right, I want a top, and then I would I'm going to need at least one high draft pick, and then I also need another top prospect, right? Because if you're getting a young hitter, he's either got to be a top prospect or he's already on your team currently, one of the two, right? Who's under team control for a certain amount of time. But also, I think that getting somebody else, because you got to think when teams make this trade, it's either one of two reasons: either you're a team like the Phillies or the Brewers were last year, where they're an up and coming team, they're going to make a run for it. Or they're a team at that point like the Yankees are, where they're making runs over and over and over again. They've got a window that's the window's now. It hasn't just begun. It's already been there. We're spending the money anyway. Let's try and fortify that as much as possible, right?
See, I have, and we'll talk about Nick Castellanos in a second here, but he's almost in the same boat where Matt Boyd is only 28.
Right.
So realistically, I would rather you not trade him because at 28, say 2021 is your goal point to like this is where you want to spend money and this is when you want to get the guys and really go for say 2 more years. Well, in 2 years, Matt Boyd's 30.
Right.
Which is not bad for baseball.
Right.
And then you're looking at 2-3 more years, you're looking at 32, 33. That's maybe when you want to try to get rid of him. But you're looking at, and Nick Castellanos almost the same way, where I think when you're about to make that run, you're hitting like a good, you might be a little later into your prime, but you're still in your prime where you can be probably our most known and maybe even our ace pitcher coming off on opening day and stuff, to where it gives you that chance to really go.
The only problem with that, and I agree with you on a lot of those points, the only problem with that is that they're the only guys who have value for you, right? Yes. That's the only thing. So if you're trying to expedite this rebuild, right, besides just sucking, right, the fastest way is to get rid of whatever assets you have, right? And it's funny that we're talking about Castellanos, and I was reading today basically that Al Avil's already told him straight up, you're not part of the plans for 2021. You're not, right? The extension, like he approached the team, and he's like, listen, we like you, but we don't like you that much to give you the money that you're going to be looking for, right? Which is crazy when you think about it, just a few years ago, like this was supposed to be the guy. He's supposed to be the next Cabrera. Now, he's having a down year. So there's that. There's been some consistency issues, right? He is not the best defender by any means, right? In right field. He's not. I know he's played some third. He was willing to even move to first base if he was going to get a contract extension, but he's not going to be here long term. We know that. But where do you think, I mean, does he go this year? Is it you know, are we going to get the value that you expect? Because my concern is that, yes, we're going to trade him, but I don't think you're going to get the value that everybody expected. I think they tried to trade him this offseason in the winter meetings and got nowhere with him. Yeah. That's why he's still on the team.
That's why.
That's the concern for me.
See, that's my problem is his numbers are going down, so people aren't as inclined to even give you a bigger offer than you want.
Exactly.
I think, realistically, you're hoping that if you wait till next year, maybe, if you really want to get rid of him, if you wait till next year and have a whole offseason to like help him develop and stuff, maybe he can get his numbers up.
Right.
So when he's a topper guy now at 28, 29 years old, then he's like, all right, like I really want this guy. Because then the teams that are like about to start this we'll go, wow, Castellanos, he'd fit out third base or whatever. That's one position we need. Let's get him over here, and we'll give you first-round picks or whatever you want for.
There's a top 5 prospect in the system.
Yeah, exactly. So I think hopefully you could hold out to next year, and then maybe if he gets his numbers up.
I really hope he gets hot like now, because because I think it's going to be a disaster if they have to trade him next year, right? So I really hope he gets hot in the next month. before the trade deadline, because I think July 30th is the trade deadline for them. So,
yeah, I've heard something about that, yeah.
Which is also when Madden comes out, by the way. So
if you pre-order,
for all you Madden fans,
if you
pre-ordered that, which if you didn't, what are you doing with your life?
Yeah. Well, Rob, did you pre-order yet?
I'm going to. Don't throw me under the bus like that. How dare you? How dare you?
You could just say yes.
I know. I could have lied. I don't do that. You know,
okay,
I'm a good Christian boy, but so it's very interesting. Like I said, you're really hoping that Nick. But honestly, Shane Green, he's going to be gone soon, right? That's somebody that he's the AL leader in saves. He's having a career year for himself. He's not going to be here very much longer. Matt Boyd, I think it's going to take quite a bit to get him away right now, this second. But who knows, right? If you get a Chris Sale type of response that Chicago got from Boston, you know what I mean? It's going to be hard pressed to say no to that. I don't think you're going to get that because Chris Sale is Chris Sale, and Matt Boyd this is the first year of really high productivity. But it's very interesting to see nonetheless. So I'm very excited to see what happens there, and I can appreciate the fact the Tigers are at least going, hey. Listen, you know the plan, you know the deal, you guys know what's up, just stick with us. If it doesn't work, you can be mad at us later, I guess. So, very interesting. All right, let's talk some WWE action now. I want to talk some John Cena comments. Basically came out, had an interview, I think it was Sports Illustrated, I think was where it was with. He basically said that due to the way WWE is structured and the amount of growing that they're going with and the global, expansion that, that they're having, WWE is never going to have one true top star. Now, if you're a wrestling fan at all, you know what I'm talking about, right? Whether it's Hulk Hogan or even go further, Bruno Sammartino to Hulk Hogan to Stone Cold to John Cena, right? Those are like the four, I would say, pillars of eras for the most part. I don't think the 90s really had one until Brett and Shawn kind of split that a little bit in the WWE, so you can depend. Early 90s, I would say Brett. Late 90s, I'd say Shawn. But my point being, right, is that for the most part, you had guys that kind of led individual eras through those times, right? Basically, John's coming out saying, yeah, it's never going to be that again, right? So the question I want to ask you is, A, do you agree with that? Is there somebody that you already think is that? And then 2, if there is a guy that on this roster currently that you think, no, I could totally, he's my number one guy. He's the guy. He is my next John Cena.
Yeah.
In that guy. So I'm throwing a lot at you, I know, but and for you at home, right, if you have somebody, you guys make sure to give us a comment, like it, all that good stuff. Let us know. We'll argue with you on YouTube or Instagram, Facebook, wherever you want. But do you agree with that? Do you think the WWE, just the way they're structured out right now and the amount of brands and everything else they got going on, are they ever going to have one true top guy again?
I actually would say they won't have a top guy ever again.
Okay.
I think I think wrestling has changed all around, and I don't think there's ever just one top guy in any company that you watch.
Right.
Every company has multiple dudes that are the guys.
You got a group of top tier talent. Is what
right. I think personally, actually, I think a top faction would actually probably be a lot better than just one top guy. If you had someone like when the Shield came in, I think the Shield as a whole
were top guys immediately. You knew these guys were
you could argue that from 2010, or I guess 2012 is when they came in, to 2015 or whatever they split up. They were like the Cena of that time. It was the Shield. Oh my god! Right. They were the force.
Best matches, best storylines, everything.
Yeah. So I think it's moving towards factions. But to your point, if I did have to say, wow, there is one top guy, I have 2 in mind.
Okay.
I think Drew McIntyre could be a top guy.
That's a great pick.
He has the look, in-ring ability, has the ability to take a loss and still look great doing so, which is something that all the guys have in common. And is also a very believable world champion and can put on a good match with anyone.
For sure.
So I think he
with that.
almost checks all the boxes. Also, and I think they're kind of building to it, is Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
I think the fans are behind him. He can put on a good match. He has the charisma, and he can play the heel or the face.
No doubt.
So you have the ability of, okay, so I want you to be the heel champion, and we're going to build up this guy to come get you.
Right.
Or you can build up how he is right now, how Brock was a champion, now he's the face, and now
he's in the chase.
And now he's in the chase. He has both ways.
No doubt.
So as the top guy, now you can almost flip him around if you want to, and you have both abilities.
I think you're right on the money. I don't think WWE will ever have just one singular top guy ever again. I think they tried with Roman. I really do.
I agree with that.
I think they tried immediately to okay, John's getting older, right? We need to have another guy, and Roman was gonna be the singular face.
I thought it went from the Shield, and then they were like, who's the best guy from the Shield?
Right.
Yeah. Okay, just trying to make him
who
that guy.
fits the mold, right?
Yeah.
Who's the biggest, who's the strongest, you know what I mean? He's got the dynasty behind him, he's got the family, the heritage, all that good stuff, right? All good stuff from Roman. Yeah. You know, promo is obviously not as strong as Suit, but I would even say match quality is pretty good with Roman.
Yeah, it's not bad.
No, I would say,
have a lot of bad ones.
So, with that being said, right, I do think that they will never, just because of the amount of content that they're producing now, even, you know what I mean? Like, if there was just Raw, I would say no, they could totally have a single top guy. But there's too many titles, there's too much stuff going on. They don't develop people enough anymore to where like you can truly be like, oh yeah, that's my guy. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like you have a group of guys, right? Like we're both big Seth Rollins guys, we're both big Drew McIntyre guys, right? I'm a big Andrade fan, you know, you're a big Finn guy. You know, there's a lot of people that, you know, we kind of gravitate to and go, this group of guys is our guys, right? These are our top tier people as fans. Yeah. So I agree with you.
Yeah, I think you could have like a top 5.
Yeah, no doubt.
As of right now, like
that's what they have to do.
Yeah, you can be like, these like as you were saying, like Cena was like the guy.
There was Cena, and then there was another group right below him: the Jerichos, the Edges, the whatever,
the Angles, or whatever you want,
no doubt,
or whatever. But it was like Cena, or there was like Hogan. Right now, there's not like Rollins.
Yeah, no, Rollins and Reigns and all those guys are kind of all up there all at the same time.
Yeah.
So as a guy to build around, though, I would say Rollins is a great pick. I think Drew McIntyre is a great pick. I'm going to throw Roman in there anyway because he's done it before, right? He's been the guy. I think that if we didn't have internet, Roman Reigns would be the biggest star ever. If we didn't have internet, right? But because of all the things we hear about now and how kayfabe is kind of broken, he gets shredded immediately, right? But I will say this, for as many downfalls as he has in his promo ability, he always puts on a good match. Whether you want to see him lose, he is John Cena.
Yeah.
People want it without the mic. That's all he is. He's got the body, he has compelling matches, and he's controversial. When John Cena runs to the curtain, people boo him, people cheer him, right? But you're invested in what he's doing because you want to see him lose or you want to see him win. Regardless, you want to see him. At the end of the day, right? You want to see Roman Reigns. Why do you think this wild card rule's a thing? Because they need to get Rollins on SmackDown sometimes. They need to have Roman on Raw. They need to have McIntyre and Shane and all these guys on both shows because neither show can work without all their top stars.
Which is weird because I really think if you split those 8 guys down the middle,
it would help a lot better develop your talent, for sure.
If you split those top guys down the middle and make 4 and 4, it'd work just the same.
Yeah.
Like if you put Rollins on one and Reigns on the other.
Right. But the problem is that they don't have enough character development on those guys below them, so nobody wants to watch them.
I think originally, like, the second the brand split happened, I think AJ was going to be their guy. They were pushed to be like, you were the guy now.
Yeah, your long title reign, I'd hope so.
Yeah, so, but that didn't really work as well as they probably wanted it to.
It's boring. I think they messed up the Shinsuke feud. They messed up some things with him as champion, you know what I mean? And it could have been better than what it was. But anyway, last question I want to ask you for this, too. Just pick a guy anywhere outside of WWE that you think could possibly change our thoughts, right? And say, maybe there is one guy. He is so good, or this guy does everything. He checks all the boxes. He could totally come in and just change the way we think about things now.
Okay, are we saying he comes into WWE or in general?
No, he comes in WWE and he becomes the next John Cena. The next Stone Cold. The next Hogan. The next Bret.
Okay.
I'm not going to throw Sean in there because I don't like him.
I do have one guy.
Okay.
Probably, arguably, my favorite wrestler out there right now. I think Kenny Omega could come in right now, and you'd be like, he's the guy.
Yeah.
He has the look.
Yeah.
He has the. If you go back and watch his match track record,
he
has literally all of the highest star matches you want. He has everything. He can lose, and it looks amazing. He can win in a 8-star match that goes over 3 hours long, and it's still amazing. I think he could just walk right through the doors of WWE and go, hey, I'm here, I'm the guy, and everyone believes it.
Yeah.
He has the mic work.
Yeah.
He's amazing. After all those shows when he was world champ, he literally just goes on the mic, and I'm like, I believe you. Yep, you're amazing.
No doubt.
So I think if one guy was to walk in, I think he's the guy.
Yeah, I think that's a great pick, honestly. I don't think there's another guy besides him because you could pick guys like Okada. You could pick guys
thought about like Okada.
like you could pick even, guys that are in Ring of Honor, right? Like a Roosh or somebody else who are great individual talents, right? Yeah. You could pick, there's so many great guys that would work. But the thing that Kenny checks off is that he's American. Or Canadian, but American. Yeah. Really. He can speak English. Like, Okada would go to WWE and get shredded, as we saw with Kenta. He went to WWE, or Hideo Itami, for those who don't watch Japanese wrestling. None of those guys could make that crossover. Like at Shinsuke. Shinsuke was the guy in New Japan. He's come over here and been TV in 3 months. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So with those things, I think Kenny is probably the only guy currently right now with the status, with the accolade, with the ability, with enough people who know who he is, where you go, oh crap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like if I saw, oh, can you make us sign with WWE? I go,
everything changes. Everything changes for sure.
I think another guy, just for a very quick point, Adam Page. I think, is very underrated. I wrote that in my notes.
Yeah, right.
But his promos aren't very good.
Yeah.
But he really has the look, as a younger guy, he reminds me of like a John Cena, where John Cena was always good on the mic, which is the only difference between him and Cena. But I think he could just come in against like a Roman Reigns and go, I'm here now, and then beat the crap out of Roman Reigns. It's believable because of his look. And then you go, he could be it.
Yeah, I would like. Yeah, I think I'm interested to see how they develop him. Just kind of sidetracking here as we're talking about him. Yeah. This world title reign that he's going to go on here in a second is going to be very interesting.
Unless Jericho wins it.
Yeah, but I think he's going to be
eventually
the guy at the end of the day. All right, last topic. I want to talk about it real quick here. The big thing that I want to talk about: Women's World Cup soccer. Okay, I want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about necessarily their prospects because let's just start right here. Will you watch if they're in the final?
I absolutely will.
Okay, cool. Right, we saw the 15-0 beatdown. Right, I think everybody in America would probably watch that game regardless, even if you're not a soccer fan. I'm not a soccer fan. That's clear. We've never done soccer on the show. Why do you think? That's not a coincidence, folks. But with that being said,
I got confused in the soccer division.
I know, right? No kidding. There's too many going on there, you know. But what I do want to talk about, it's a little more of a serious topic. What's funny to me, and I think it's something that needs to be addressed again, it's been talked about ad nauseum on other stations, ESPN and what have you. In every other sport, and we were talking about basketball earlier and how these guys are going to get these supermax contracts, right? In every other sport in the world, the best players get paid the most money. Right?
Correct.
Theoretically, right? You know, and the NFL is a little bit different. It's just when your time to get paid is, right? But every other sport, right? In basketball, you're the best, you're going to get a supermax contract or a max contract, right? Soccer, same thing. Baseball, same thing, right? You are, quote-unquote, the best available guy ready to get another contract, you get paid. Women's soccer doesn't happen that way. Men's soccer, they get paid more money, right? They haven't done diddly squat, ever, right? You got multiple-time World Cup winners here in this women's soccer team, and yet they're still paid less. They're not advertised nearly as much, right? The merch isn't the same, right? Everything is different, right? They're not publicized, they're not talked about, and they've been successful for so long. Why the hell is that a thing? Because I think it annoys the hell out of me. Because in every other sport, if you're the best, you get paid the most money.
Yeah.
Why is it different? Because don't tell me anyone's watching men's U.S. soccer when they're in the World Cup trying to qualify than they are watching these ladies.
See, no, I think it's just the men are, I actually believe it's the men are just like, the men's cup is meant like more.
Right.
It's like a bigger thing than the women's cup.
Yeah.
And it's like sad to say almost, but if you want to like, in Japanese wrestling,
right, for sure.
They have like their world title and then they have their junior title.
Right.
And you don't watch it for their junior title, you watch it for their like heavyweight title.
Hey, it's the brain. She's what can I do for you?
Are you recording stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, you want to say hi?
She's back, guys.
Wait,
she's back.
I have a note for you because I said more for Emily in my notes. Rob, ask me a question.
Ask her a question?
Ask me a question. Here.
Okay, we come and sit down real quick here, Em. She's going to be off camera here. Em, making a surprise on the show. Em, I want to ask the same question to you. Why is it that women's soccer, in every other sport, right, if you're the best at what you do, you get paid the most money? Why is it when the women's national soccer team is paid less than the men's? When the women have been more successful, they've won, period. I'm just going to put period there because they've won. The men's soccer team's never done anything historically. Why do these women have to fight for this and do all these protests and say we're not going to play, we're going to go on strike just to get an equal cut because they're performing better than the men are? Like, I think the women's soccer team could beat the men's soccer team.
Okay, how much revenue does the women's soccer team bring in over the men's soccer team?
No idea. I don't have those numbers in front of me. I'm not even a host, clearly.
Women, unfortunately, people don't watch women's sports, dude. Like, do you watch the WNBA?
No, but my point being, in this particular...
It's not paid for performance, it's a pay for revenue.
But it's the only sport that's different, though. It's the only sport that is different. Because in every other sport... I'm not talking about paying, like, increasing the scale as a whole. What I'm saying is that in this particular instance, right, it's nationality at this point, right? I'm not even talking about like MLS, for instance, right? I'm talking about strictly you're playing for the country of the United States. The women play better. They should have at least equal pay, if not more, because they're winning.
No, I'm not saying I disagree with you. I'm just saying science.
Science? That's not okay. We're talking sports here. Okay?
Business science.
Business science.
Now,
Business
again,
science.
I don't know how the U.S. women's soccer team is funded. I don't know if the countries fund their own teams. Like, how does that work?
Yeah, I'm guessing it's an organization.
Like the U.S. government funds.
Yeah, I guess my frustration is when you look at it and you go, these women are killing it. You know what I mean? They're put on performance after performance. They have household names for people all around, the United States who know who these people are, and yet I can't name a person on the men's soccer team. I can name people on the women, and I don't watch soccer, and I can name that. You know what I mean? I can,
Alex Morgan still play?
Yep, she's on the team, right? Rapinoe, that's another one, right? I think, Hope Sola was their goalie, right? She's weird looking.
I don't know. Have you ever heard of the wage gap?
No, I know, I know, right? But that's unfortunate. That's what I'm saying. I feel like because sports is a different world, right? Sports is not just, it's not the same. It's not real life. It's not you and me going to work every day. It's different.
No, I think you should ask your soccer fans on the site, because we don't watch soccer, so I don't know soccer culture, but do y'all watch men's soccer more than women's soccer? Do you guys buy men's jerseys over women's jerseys? Like, as your casual, women's soccer fans?
Well, you're not going to wear a women's jersey. You're not
But at that point, I don't know if it's a public or privately run organization. Do you get what I'm saying?
I guess maybe you could. Maybe.
I'm saying that there is probably,
buy their centers.
Or on top of that, I don't know. I imagine maybe female sports representation in agencies is not.
I don't know. I guess the
question too would be in other countries, how is this handled?
Probably the same, but you also don't have the four major sports like you do here either, though, right? With football, basketball, baseball, hockey.
Look at my little feminist.
You don't have everything. It's not so much feminist. It's just for me, it's
pay for performance.
It is, right? If you're not good.
No, the U.S. women's soccer team should get paid a crap ton more money than they get paid.
Right.
That is really. Yeah. I'm sure there's some goofy reason why they don't, and it's like a revenue stream thing. Or whatever. I'm not sure. I'd have to look into who owns the U.S. women's soccer team. Is it the U.S. government?
And you didn't do that research before you came in?
Okay,
Come on,
I was coming to ask you about freaking wedding shower invitation, and I thought you were done by now.
No, see, that's the problem. See, you weren't ready to go, and now... See, this is why she hasn't been on the show in so long, guys, because she comes unprepared.
He acts like he kicked me off the show.
She comes unprepared, but it's fine.
You didn't kick me off the show. What's been happening is one of us is trying to plan a beautiful, wonderful wedding. And
all of our fans just tuned out right there. Just want to let you know that. All the 35 million fans that we have all just turned this off immediately, just so you know that.
Okay. Well, that's what I've been doing.
I know. That's great. Good for you. Proud of you.
Appreciate me.
That's going to be it for episode 29 of the I'm Always Right Sports Podcast. Next week, opening the show, we are going to have another Merck Zone ranking special. That's right. We're talking NFL quarterback. We didn't talk much about the NFL this week for the first time and probably ever, honestly. Yeah. But we're doing an NFL quarterback ranking list similar to what we did for the 32 teams preseason. So we're going to do that with just quarterbacks. We may do a Division one at some point as well because I like that idea as well. But we'll do that. We're going to open the show with that. Plenty more for signing off for the Merck Zone, for the returning Brain, and for, I guess, the champion for the second week in a row. The Mouth of Michigan, Ramen Dyka. We will see you guys, as always, next time.